Ez egy... Ez... Mikire azt mondjátok, hogy ez inkább nem. Ez inkább nem. Amiket ti küldözgettek, azokat nézegetem. A dominákat. A grapefruit technikát. A játékba. Hearthstone, Watch, Overwatch. Meg PUBG. Na de ez, tehát hogy azt mondom, hogy amit Miki csinál, az még ilyen oké kategória, nézhető is, meg így, nem tudom. Még akár meg is az étfeled, de mert ez a csávó nyom néha, ez már attól már nem megjön, hanem elmegy.
Now this thing contains over 24,000 calories, 1,350 grams of fat, 270 grams of protein, and a terrifying 2,835 grams of carbohydrate. Most of which, of course, is sugar. So I think one of two...
Persze, amit ez a csávó csinál, amit ez a csávó csinál, az Mikinek egy heti kajája néha. De lehet, hogy nem egy heti, de több napos.
This is Beer Meets Food, and this is the biggest Toblerone chocolate bar in the world. Has to be. And real quick before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to 07 Clothing, who sent me this early Christmas present this year. Actually, they sent me a lot of Christmas presents this year. I'm going to open those in the next video, so stick around if you want to see that. But there's a link in the description which gets you a cheeky little discount. So go over to their website, check out their stuff, it's really cool.
Elég biztos ez. Az más.
I'm not even really sure how to start.
Az kreténys inkább.
Easy to open. I normally struggle with packages. I've got this giant shaker bottle full of coffee over here.
Mi? Bazd meg, eltörte.
How do you even eat this thing?
Mortal Kombatnak a zenéje megy háttérbe felgyorsítva valami izével.
Look at this. You can make little chocolate houses out of this. You can make big chocolate houses out of this. Whose idea was it to make a Toblerone this big? I already know this is going to be super hard. Oh. This is embarrassing.
What's happening, Beard Army? You guys have been asking for this for so long that I just pretty much eventually caved in and decided to do this against my better judgment. But here it is, the 4.5 kilo, 10 pound, 24,000 calorie biggest Toblerone in the universe.
Alright, so it took me almost 9 minutes to eat one of these little pyramid things.
Persze, azért ezt mondom, én ezt mondtam, hogy ez a srác, meg hát jó, nyilván vannak még olyanok, hogy ez a srác is már olyan ilyen challenge-eket eszébe csinál, amire már azt mondom, hogy nem megjön az étvágyat, hanem inkább elmegy. Most itt erre nem is tudom, hogy kinek jönne meg bármilyen étvágya. Azért mondtam, hogy Miki legalább olyanokat tól, amire így megjön az étvágyat, így, jó, azt mondod, hogy valamelyik így azért tényleg sok, meg de...
Yeah, Lindsay's gonna kill me because in the process
Nem látom.
of trying to deconstruct these giant pyramids of solid chocolate, I ended up stabbing the table, which is why I ended up getting a plate to cut these things on, because man, they were literally like bricks, you know, chocolate bricks.
I hope my dentist doesn't watch this. My jaw's aching already.
Szerintem én azt mondom, hogy ennyi csokit. Na jó,
Yeah, I hate to
azt akartam
start
mondani, hogy egész
so
életemben nem
it's
ettem, de
different
hát amúgy
disciplines
életemben
eating,
lehet,
you know,
de
a bunch of burgers. I don't know if you watched the Triple Trump Challenge or the Byron Hamburgers Challenge I did. The weight difference isn't that much, but you know, it's so much easier to eat soft foods like that. Eating just this amount of compacted chocolate is rough.
mint egy olyan háromszög.
90 minutes in,
Ez sikerül.
and I already feel like
Hát Dóri ez megenné.
I'm beat.
Nyugi. Dórival megette volna ezt a csokit. Nyugi.
This feels like a junk food version of the Sword in the Stone.
Még háromszor annyi van, mint amennyit evett eddig. Nem is az, hogy sok. Igen, nem csak az, hogy sok basznak, hanem az, hogy... Hogy miből?
Look how dense it is. I think you could legitimately kill somebody with one of these.
I already know somebody's gonna get triggered at that, but try to relax, you know. I like Matt's videos, it's just me.
Hát még biztos, hogy sokáig bírom, mert még a felénél sem vagyunk a
See
videónak.
how tricky I'm finding this. I've only done like 3 of these pyramids. And as you can see, I'm in a lot of pain.
I think part of the problem here is that this was actually delivered about 10 days ago, and we kept it in the hallway, which is pretty cold, so...
Ja, túl hideg a csoki.
It's still like solid.
Just off to the side there, that's... I mentioned it at the beginning, that's actually coffee that I'm drinking. You can see how tough this is to actually chew. But yeah, the idea behind the coffee is it just kind of helps if you ever eat something that's really sweet, because your body has kind of natural defense mechanisms in that it will make you feel nauseous much quicker because it's trying to kind of protect you, because eating this much sugary stuff is really bad for you.
Na, ezért iszik a kávét.
Getting these little bits of
Greetings, beardlings.
De amúgy...
honeycomb.
Jó van, elég lesz ezekből. Jó van, tiány
They're
kösz.
not really that little, they're like pebbles. Or rocks or something. My mouth feels so cut up.
Ez ennyi volt. Én azt mondom, ez ennyi volt. Itt már nem kezdnék egyben neki.
Grinding and cracking.
Jó, tévedtem. De az az utolsó.
There's still a vast amount of this chocolate bar left. And every one of these just feels like its own eating challenge.
Én amúgy sem vagyok olyan nagy csokis.
It's a lot easier to eat at the top, where the pointy bit is. It feels a bit softer. But this bottom part here,
Dórinak lehetne ilyet venni. Dórinak is akkor mondani, hogy na jó, most már egész évre meg vagy csak jó.
it's kind of like the foundation.
Mondjuk ebből hogy eszel így, na jó, ezek egy kis csokit, és akkor így mi vágsz, levágod az egyik csúcsát, vagy mit csinálsz? Vagy te tényleg? Megtörsz egy olyan háromszöget, az így, az na retek sok.
And as always, I'll catch you there.
Vágunk egy kis csokit, mindjárt jövök.
On the plus side, I haven't had any cardiac arrhythmias yet, but I'm definitely starting to feel shaky.
Ez mi az amúgy? Ez 5 literes izé? Mi a tököm
I don't
az?
feel full or anything.
Ballon, vagy mi az?
I've eaten like 3 pounds of chocolate, but
Mennyi kávét ivott
I
már?
have this really intense urge to throw up.
Szerintem ez ennyi volt. Azt még lehet talán beszenvedni, de ez ennyi.
This is the worst thing I've ever done. Worse than the 13 pints of Ben & Jerry's.
Állítólag a kávé az jó az édesre, hogy ne egyél rosszabb tőle gyorsan.
Years ago.
Valami ilyesmit magyarázott.
Now my heart's pounding a little bit. I actually thought I would get past halfway pretty easy. I don't think there's any chance.
Nyolc. 12 volt, nem?
Chocolate bars are
Az
like,
egyharmadát tudta megenni. Se.
this was the stupidest idea ever.
Yes.
For the next 48 hours.
Jó, nem ígérem, hogy mi ezeket végignézzük, ezek hosszúak nagyon. Itt ilyen küldött az is. Vagy csak ilyen belenézegetésbe. Itt már ez ennyi, nem? Jó, azt én megette.
It's like super dense. And not Today we're having a bash at a giant steak challenge, which is meant for teams of 2. Never really been into sharing though.
Jó volt valami bármi.
We're in Swaffham for today's episode.
Hát így is nagyon sokat evett basszus. Belőle, ez
Where the heck is it? Excuse me, mate. You don't know where there's a.
Szerintem több év alatt nem vettem összesen annyi csokoládét, amennyit most megvettem a videóban.
White Hart Inn.
Hát azokat nézzük, amiket így most küldtetek, vagy küldtek
Down
a
here on
chatten.
this digital sign thingy, it does say the White Hart. That's weird. Thank you. Hi.
Kérdez evésre. Ja, Ratyi az egyből az akcióra ugrik mindig.
Is that right? I booked it for like 12:30 today, so I'm a bit late. Couldn't find somewhere to park. And then I got confused about the actual name of the.
Jó, mivel van másik videó is, és ez is hosszú, tekerjünk be egy kicsit.
That's almost the same size as you, mate. I think. I'm not gonna eat you though. Don't worry. I draw the line up, babies.
Ja, néztem
So
párszor,
a place
ja.
called the White Hart Inn today in Swaffham. Spat everywhere. It's in Norfolk, right?
Yes, yep, Norfolk.
You should have called this the Norfolk in Chance Steak Challenge.
Well, we
You,
might
you
just
can
rename
pay me
it
for
in
that
your
later.
honour.
Normally teams of 2 do this.
De én úgy
right?
tudom, hogy annak
You
is
get
volt,
4
is
minutes
voltak
to
azért
finish as a team of
problémái, nem?
2, but
Vagy
then
volt
we just
valami
attempted
ilyen-
it solo so far.
Vagy valami volt erről talán.
As solo, you're the first.
Probably indicates my state of mind, really. And if you finish, you get it's the meals on the house,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it includes all the sides as
Yeah,
well.
everything's included.
Do you have to eat the big rind of
No,
fat?
so we only expect you to eat the meat. Feel free to leave the big rind of fat on the edge. Yeah, so we start the timer as soon as you cut into your steak,
Right. Okay.
and then we'll leave you alone for an hour.
I don't really know where to cut it, but I'll cut a big wedge off. That'll do. Thank you very much.
Ja, nem kell megenni,
I don't
ja.
suppose you have any like barbecue sauce or anything like that?
Yep, we'll get you some out.
Thank you very much. Right, I'm gonna get rid of bits of fat on the end. Alright, here it comes. What's up, Beef Army? I mean, Beard Army. Welcome back to another episode.
Meddig
Today
sütik
it's a
ezt a
giant
basszeg?
steak.
Mind if we take a quick photo?
Go ahead, mate. Go ahead.
Oké, hogy ez jobb challenge, de ezek is, tehát azért ez a challenge is olyan, hogy így
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Got loads more, just ask me what you need.
What a friendly chap.
Nem
Good to
tudom.
know too, because we're gonna need plenty of lubricant.
Ahhoz, hogy megegye, ez már az a szint, ami ahhoz, hogy megegye, gyorsan kell lennie, különben csak rosszabb. És ezért így nem olyan jó.
That was pretty big too, but not this big. This is the 100-ounce challenge at the White Hart Pub in Swaffham. Fortunately, you don't have to eat that, the big strip of fat on the end. As a pair, you get 30 minutes to finish, but if you've got the chutzpah to do this solo, then it's 45.
This is hard work.
Tehát rendes, nagyon gyorsan kell lennie, és hogy egyáltalán meg tudja csinálni, és így már így... nem is beszél, hogy retek sok.
Which includes chips, rocket, I think, some kind of foliage, onion rings, tomatoes,
Hello.
and
Érdekes.
mushrooms. Apparently, 50 pairs have attempted this. 4 have been successful so far, but nobody has clocked it solo yet.
Széra is éppen.
Nobody's even tried, in fact.
This is hard work.
Is it?
I'm starting to sweat, man.
You've got big sweats already.
I think it's probably more the ambient temperature and that thick, furry jumper.
My fingers hurt.
Yeah, always the toughest part of a steak challenge. Maybe I'm gripping my implements too tightly. I have a habit of doing that.
The idea was to basically get halfway through the steak before using the sauce. And I think I've pretty much accomplished that.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I love meat as much as the next dude, but after you've eaten 3 pounds of meat, it gets boring. Which is where the sauce comes in. That's going to help with the flavour fatigue, hopefully.
It's going strong.
Getting there. Getting there. Kind of.
Egyébként nekem erre visszatérve erre, meg amúgy is ugye mondtam már ugye ezt a... Meg amúgy is vágjátok a... Meg mémeltek azzal, hogy mindenhez eszek kegyenet, amúgy nyilván nem. De ugye egyszer mondtam, erről jutott eszembe, hogy rakott krumplit zsömlébe rakni. Ez az én saját ötletem, jó? Bárki csinált már ilyet, vagy elopta, az én ötletem volt. Olyan kajádát, vagy olyan helyet csinálni, ahol ilyen szendvicsek vannak, de olyan dolgok vannak a szendvicsben, amit amúgy nem raksz, vagy nem tudom. Mondjuk érted, rakott krumplis szendvics, vagy bolonyai szendvics, vagy nem tudom, főzelékes szendvics. Hát pizzát azt nem biztos, de... Lecsós szendvics. Persze, hogy már nagyon sok ilyen van pont, ezt jobban szoktam.
Yeah, the last time they felt that tired was
No.
trying to do that drum roll in the chicken wing song. That was hard.
Let's separate the actual meat from the fat.
Tehát túlos tésztás szendvics.
Saying that I missed the piece or something like that. Remember, you don't have to eat those big wedges of fat. Ah, you big softy. Yeah, you're definitely gonna need some Sudocrem on those fingers in the morning. I've abandoned the knife and fork now. We're going full caveman from here on.
Persze, az emberiség amúgy már megérett a pusztulásra.
No, there is in fact lots left to go.
30 perc, azt hiszem.
Probably like what, 30 ounces? No, less. 20 some ounces.
We're getting there.
45. Akkor 45.
Yeah, come on, you can do it. I just thought, in the background, is that one of those things people used to put in their beds before hot water bottles were invented?
Ja, mint a streamek mostában.
I don't know, sleeping with hot coals in a brass pan next to you doesn't sound safe.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Na, egy kis diétás kólát hozzá.
Ooh, tactical diet coke. That's how you know we're getting towards the sticky end of things now. Still doing all right though.
Alright. Don't mind me. I'm just being a professional pig.
Jó, hát nyilván a mögé nem látunk be amúgy. Lehet, hogy amúgy is szeret zabálni, sokat teszik. Ebből csinált magának egy izét. Megélhetést. Aztán benne van, hogy azért van ennek árnyoldala is, hogy szarul is van sokszor tőle, de ezt nem tudjuk. Vagy azért csinálja, hogy a pénzért, a nézettségért is.
Special guest appearance from the Swaffham Knitting Association, no less. And people say I never do collabs. No, they were very friendly and supportive ladies. Passionate about wool too. I've never heard people debate textiles quite so vociferously. Anyway, we're actually almost done with the steak now. 30 minutes, it's been a long slog, but we can look forward to a few of the sides now.
I feel like after all that meat, the mushrooms might actually taste good. You never know. They should at least help move some of it out tomorrow morning.
Bokrot.
Wish you'd be so relentlessly descriptive. It's true though. Nothing will occlude your entrails like eating 100 ounces of pure beef. So if you're gonna give this a bash yourself,
egy kis marhapörköltes szendvics közben.
And drink plenty of water too. What are we on to now? I think it's gonna be is it the mushrooms next? Mushrooms or chips?
Almost.
Hát elhiszem. Passzalos szendvics.
On to the fungus. And although I won't say I enjoyed this part, it was a pleasant change from meat at this point. I will say that.
Just the onion rings to go now.
Még van hagyma karika? Ez az szint, amiben ez már mindenhez inni kell, mert különben nem bírja megrágni se vele nyerni se, nem?
I'm looking forward to these. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I had to save the onion rings to the end, you know me. Anyway, we're almost done now.
Hát inkább mártogatja az is végül is.
As always,
De jó volt is oda.
One final onion ring to go. Is that alright?
That's fine.
That's okay.
We're not anal and strict about it. It's just
the final onion ring.
final onion ring.
Thank you.
Ez főleg most lenne.
22 minutes, 43
Ettől hihetetlenül vegának érzem magam.
Köszi.
Outstanding.
Hát amúgy valószínűleg mindenki.
Their wives was a midwife, and she said that's the sustainable weight.
Jó, várj, itt volt még.
hours, I'm going to be eating the world's biggest candy bars. I'm giving myself 2 days to eat unlimited calories only from giant candy bars. This year, I've taken down 30,000 plus calories in 8 hours. I also ate 40,000 plus calories on my birthday, but I've never attempted to do something this crazy before. So who knows what's gonna happen.
Ezt a részt skippeljük is.
Just like that, everybody, I think it's time to get this challenge officially started. Let's do this. Before we get started, got some low-carb milk over here, just in case I need it. Oh, man. All right, everybody, so we have our giant Snickers for our first candy bar that I'm gonna be consuming in this challenge. And you know what, let's make this interesting. However many minutes it takes me to eat this Snickers bar is how many miles I have to run tomorrow morning. What can I say? I like pain. Delicious pain. All right, everybody, it's time to get the 48 hours officially started in 3, 2, and 1.
Na, az amit ott most megevett, az egy darab, az nekem elég lenne. Így, az egész nyára.
Almost at 3 minutes. All right, well, it looks like that took us about 5 minutes and 20 seconds. So it looks like I got to run 5 miles tomorrow morning. That should
Csak.
be very interesting. Now this is the Milka Oreo bar.
Na, ez jós. Hát a nézettségével ilyen mindenki mindenféle javasságot csinál. Én is only
All right, that chocolate bar was absolutely amazing. You know, I just want to show some love to Milka right now for just making appropriately sized chocolate bars. This is the Choco and Biscuit. Ooh. Not bad. Whew. Goodness, that sugar rush just hit me like a freight train. Man.
Hát amúgy egyébként... Egyébként annyira nem... Volt, hogy meguntam most, de aztán így megjött hozzá a kedvem. De az, hogy egyébként volt rá igény, mármint azt mondom, hogy volt rá igény, De sokan meg már unták is, szóval így azért eléggé megosztó. De nem, amúgy élvezetes tud lenni, amikor így sikerülnek a dolgok, amiket így gyakoroltál, és egy ramba össze tudod hozni, akkor nagy részét, akkor amúgy az nagyon fun tud lenni.
Man, this coffee tastes absolutely amazing.
Ja.
Oh, it's probably because it's in the signature Eric the Electric I Heart Carbs mug. Only available on Eric the Electric shop. Link in bio. What? I had to do a little shameless plug, all right? That was absolutely
Oda van írva magadon, hogy mi lesz 40k követőnek.
no chocolate left behind. I will be regretting this tomorrow.
Hát Sweet elmegy nyaralni 8 napra, visszajött, aztán látta, hogy nagyon le van maradva, úgyhogy inkább azt mondta, hogy jó van, nem. Kiszáll.
That Reese's peanut butter cup.
Valami ilyesmi volt.
Me about 23
Inkább.
minutes, almost 23 minutes to do. And I completely blanked before the meal and I forgot to show you all the date and time. So it's currently October, what day is it? October 22nd. What time is it? 7:45 p.m. Now everyone, it's time for me to go take a hot shower, get some sleep, and then it's time for day number 2.
Meal number 1 complete.
I will be regretting this tomorrow, 100%.
5-mile run complete.
All right, everybody, so it's time for meal number 2. It is about 12:30, October 23rd. We're about 17 hours into this calorie challenge. Let's just get into this one. It's time for me to consume the biggest chocolate bar of the video so far. This, my friends, is a 5-pound
2,26 kiló.
right? This thing is looking absolutely massive. That's what she said. There are 11,200 calories in this Hershey's bar right here. There is also 1,280 grams of sugar in this chocolate bar. Oh my sweet goodness. Believe it or not, this is not actually the biggest chocolate. What do you think about this? You see this chocolate bar?
Yeah, I see it. I definitely see it.
You always told me that size matters.
Size doesn't matter.
Believe it or not, everyone, this 5-pound Hershey's bar is actually not the biggest chocolate bar I'm planning on consuming in this video. I have an even bigger chocolate bar that I'm gonna try to get down. But before I get to that, I gotta take this one down.
Erre az olajapról jutott eszembe, hogy üzenek nem volt új csemegete, biztos nézted. Moistnak nem volt új ízés challenge-e, speedrunos. Azt a legújabbos izét, azt lehet, hogy akkor megnézhetjük ezután. Videóját, nem tudom, mi volt az utcsó játék, amiről csinált challenge-et.
This chocolate's rich.
Ja, azt mondom, hogy abból biztos volt videó, de hogy azután.
Well, we have about, I'd say about 20% of the chocolate bar down. Oh man, the thing about chocolate is just, it gets very rich very quickly.
Did you know the most popular candy bar in the world is the Snickers bar? More than 400 million Snickers bars are sold every year. I love Snickers bars, but Reese's are my favorite. What's your favorite candy bar? Drop a comment down below.
I would say we're about 40% through the chocolate bar. Wow. It just like progressively just gets. And since I'm eating a giant chocolate bar, I gotta ask all of you a very, very important question. How many of you
Igen,
out
azt
there
tudom,
are
milyen
team
ízű
milk
ez.
chocolate, and how many of you are team dark chocolate? Personally, for me, I think milk chocolate is the best. That's all I'm saying. I would actually say I'm a little bit more than 50% done with the chocolate bar, but there is just so much flavor fatigue going on right now, everybody, that I'm gonna actually just have to save this for some later part of today. So we'll put that over there. I kind of figured that would happen, so I came prepared to the party. I brought extra giant candy bars. Like, legit, these are giant candy bars. And these are gonna come in very handy because I need some nuts in my life right now. Nuts in the form of a chocolate bar. It's probably the wrong way to say that, but oh well. And this is the Hershey's Almond Candy Bar.
Amerikaiak. Persze.
Get on over to
Miért nem amerikai, hogy
Symphony Bar. To be honest, I have zero idea why this is called the Symphony Bar. Looks like a regular Hershey's bar to me. Yeah, it just tastes like sugar at this point. Next, it's time to head on over to the homie, Mr. Goodyear. If you've never had a Mr. Goodyear bar, it's chocolate and peanuts. everybody. Well, we've had 1, 2, 3 big chocolate bars and then the Master Hershey's bar. Should I do it? Yeah, why not? You can always make room for extra nuts. I mean, I really got to think those statements through before I say them. That has been meal number 2. So it's currently 1:19, still the same day, almost at the 18-hour mark. Unfortunately, I was not able to get down this chocolate bar in this meal, so I'm most likely gonna have to come back to this at a later point.
Meal number 2, complete, kinda.
A Snickers az nem
Now
van.
everyone, it's
Vagy
time
így,
for
ja,
some carbs.
ez így
Believe
oké,
it or
és
not,
jó.
this actually isn't the first time I've ever tried
Nem
to
tudom,
run
mikor
away
ettem utoljára, de...
ridiculous amounts of chocolate. While it felt like I was about to give birth to a baby named Hershey, I somehow was able to ride 52 miles.
Alright, everybody, it's about 4:45 right now. Usually this is where I would have my second meal of the day, but everyone eating this much chocolate is just brutal. So what I'm gonna do for today is just have 2 meals. So I'm gonna finish walking my
De az mondnak volt valami videója, ahol megkóstoltatták vele a gyümölcsöket, nem? Valami volt valamilyen.
So it is currently 7:33. I feel like just eating this chocolate bar the way it is would just be way too basic. So I'm gonna add a little health to this challenge.
It looks like I
Mire rak rá zöldséget?
chocolate left to eat. Believe it or not, the texture's the hardest thing. So microwaving the chocolate is actually better. And about 27 seconds later, I have my finished product.
All right, so you're probably wondering, Eric, why do you have a giant bowl of melted chocolate? Well, everybody, strawberries, chocolate. You're probably just shaking your heads at me, but hey, you know what? It just felt like having some strawberries. Chocolate covered strawberries, that is. As of right now, I actually don't feel all that terrible, given that the only meal that I've had today was about 7 hours ago. So the extra time in between meals has helped out my digestion quite a bit.
Ah,
Now,
biztosan.
everyone, it's time for meal number 3. Before I get into this though, I just have to say tomorrow I have a ridiculously gigantic candy bar to consume. And yeah, I just really hope I can get through this in one piece. That's all I'm gonna say right now. Oh, just look at those tasty strawberries. Look at that. Some vitamin C, some antioxidants.
Yeah.
And some low-calorie cashew milk to kind of balance out all the chocolate. Should I wash them? Yeah, I should probably wash them. Here we go. 3, 2. That's tasty.
Ki eszi így?
All right, I'm 100% over the strawberries. Jeez. Goodness gracious. I feel like the chubby kid from Willy Wonka that fell in the chocolate river.
Ez egy csokű leves.
Excuse me. All right, well, the bowl of chocolate's down.
De még, és ott maradt még az. Hát ez nem.
Chopping down a tree that's made of chocolate. I feel like I'm not gonna want to eat chocolate for the next 3 years after this challenge. Right now, the flavor fatigue train has paid me a very serious visit. So, you know what I'm gonna do? Is I'm gonna get into some of these all new Cheetos minis right here. I'll pick that up later.
Mellé egy kis Cheetos. Na, az kurva jó lehet.
That's gonna get a W. Oh, W. Oh man, that chocolate bar was ridiculously dense. It's currently 8:07 right now. We're about 24 hours and 45 minutes into this ridiculous challenge. I have the biggest candy bar I've ever laid eyes upon in my kitchen, and I somehow have to fit it into my body tomorrow. So I'm gonna get some rest and hope I can take it down tomorrow.
Meal number 3, complete. A few hours later, it was time for a mid-challenge physique check. I'd say I look about 7 months pregnant, but I experienced point to second best. And the result shows the sugar, so I reflected on everything and I felt 2,300 grams of sugar. I opened the article again and read the fine print. The sugar had to be consumed all at once. Crisis averted. I hope. I went to bed and it was time for day number 2.
All right, everybody, so worst. I'm going what I'm eating. Ready for the reveal?
Ebbe is benne van.
9-pound Toblerone bar on my table right now. This thing is looking absolutely massive. That's what she said. This Toblerone bar right here is over 23,000 calories.
Nem bírta megint, nem jutott az mond.
Deliciousness. Just for size reference purposes, just check out how big this bar is compared to a regular Toblerone bar. Like, this is absolutely insane, everyone. So everyone, I have a few hours left and I'm most definitely gonna have my work cut out for me because this is a ridiculous amount of chocolate. But I'm gonna go for the gold and I'm gonna try to get this entire chocolate bar down. If you think I can get this chocolate bar down, go ahead and drop a chocolate bar emoji down below. We're currently at the 42-hour mark right now. It's currently 1:57, October 24th. That being said, everyone, it's time to get into meal number 4. Let's do this. No, I will not be eating.
Én egy tálba csokit nem eszek meg egybe.
All right, it's time for the reveal.
Na jó,
In case
tekerjünk
you're
azért.
wondering why there's a chunk out of it, well, I had to get a juicy thumbnail before I started this meal. All right, it's time to begin in 3, 2, and 1.
Na ez nem tűnik olyan hidegnek, nem?
It tastes like a giant Toblerone. I have nothing else to say. Well, 2 triangles of the Toblerone bar down. I gotta say, the hardest part about this is just the fact that the chocolate is so hard. So, yeah, I'm gonna hopefully take care of that. Oh, yes, much better. That's what I'm talking about. Each triangle is just getting more and more sugary. Now it's time for me to bring some reinforcements to the party. Bacon and second.
Igen, amúgy a Jósnak igaza van, akkora hűtőjük van ezeknek, amerikaiak. Nézd meg ott a háttérben a hűtőt mekkora. Kivesz egy-két polcot, ott befér az.
I should actually say I've done a lot of reckless challenges in my life, but this is definitely gonna go down as one of the more reckless ones. Chocolate is just so rich. I feel like I'm sweating chocolate. These bricks of chocolate are just eating into my soul. Excuse me. Thank goodness for this bacon. It's like I'm not full, it's just the chocolate is just so overwhelmingly rich.
Hát mondjuk a másik srác megivott az egy 5 liter kávét.
Everyone just like that. I think I'm gonna call it quits for this meal. Looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And like 3/4 chocolate triangles left. We are 43 hours in. I'm not gonna lie, everybody. I'm actually just ready to call it quits right now. I'm just so overwhelmed with the amount of chocolate that has bombarded my taste buds that I just don't even think I can continue.
At this point in the challenge, I had never experienced flavor fatigue at this level before. So I decided to blend up some of the Toblerone bar with some decaf coffee and some cashew milk.
It looks like we are 35 minutes away from the 48-hour mark, and all I have left is 3 blocks of this massive Toblerone bar, along with a bunch of melted chocolate. So it's 6:49 right now. Can't waste any more time, everybody. I gotta get into this. This is meal number 5.
Hát ez 30 perc alatt, ez nem fog, ez nem, ez mi? Amint meg lehetne, hogyha nem evett volna semmit ez eddig.
Gotta say, the shakes with the decaf coffee, it's definitely a nice touch.
Did you know Americans eat about 2.8 billion pounds of chocolate every year? And the average American eats about 11 pounds of chocolate annually.
First shake is down.
Ki gondolta volna benne?
Right off to the side. There exists a chip here in America. It comes around during the holidays. Potato chip that's covered in chocolate. If you've never had it before, you are truly missing out. I'm making it myself right now with a melted Toblerone bar.
Mit nézünk? Amerikaiak.
Right, I have about 21 minutes left. I think I just need to put the pedal to the metal. It's gonna be so long before I even want to look at another Toblerone bar. Oh.
Jó, de nem egybe ette meg amúgy. Nem, mint a számítalan, de
15 minutes left.
egy nap alatt.
Taste is chocolate.
Egy nap alatt.
Obviously, feels like my blood type is now Toblerone. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. But if you're still here with me and you believe in me, go ahead and comment down below. Crazy. And don't forget to subscribe for more food challenges if you're not subscribed already. The bowl chocolate is down.
Egybe többet megvet, igen.
Everyone, I have 10 minutes left. Get this last
Valóban nem csak azt tette. Hát ebből egy darab háromszög is sok persze.
I just gotta say, and dedicate this last piece to all of you. And just like that, everybody, with 3 minutes left, the challenge has been complete. Well, you know, I guess I can just let it keep going.
Meal number 5, complete.
Now, everyone, it's time for me to show you all my post-challenge body weight.
After the challenge was over, I stepped on the scale weighing 196 pounds.
Ah,
That's a
ja,
total
hülye.
gain of almost 26 pounds.
Azért.
And then it was time for a little physical.
Hülye ízésük,
This
bazdmeg.
maybe was almost as crazy as the one I had in my 50,000 calorie cheat day challenge. Go check that out next if you haven't seen
Bravo.
it already. Along with another calorie challenge.
Hülye mértékegységeikkel, hülye
Give
amerikaiak.
the video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next food challenge.
Erről külön videó van, jó. Várj, akkor ezért ezt megnézem én. A Moistnak a második speedrun. Nem bezártam már. Moistnak a második speedrunos izét. Mondjuk ez jó hosszú videó. De ez az. 3 volt. Ez 3 hónap ezelőtti második, azt van.
Constantly developing, improving, and leading us to this very moment. Millions of years of fine-tuned evolution has finally paid off.
Jó hosszú ez, lehet, hogy beletekergetünk azért.
In my $10,000 speedrun challenges, and my most recent one was the most challenging for our species yet.
És akkor mi volt a
Thanks to
második?
this, I finally pushed us to reach the apotheosis of evolution itself. This is the world record history of Exodus from the Earth, the most recent $10,000 speedrun challenge that I put out into the wild.
Az elsőt azt vágom, hogy az volt az Amok Runner.
No fucking way. This game's similar to Crisis, yeah, you could say that. It's a real gem from its era.
I'm sure I don't even need to explain what Exodus from the Earth is, one of the biggest games of all time. It came to the US...
Csak az Elder Scrolls-os mi van? Az most volt? Vagy van? Vagy ez mikor volt? Vagy...
2008 is only a year after Halo 3 came out, and I can still remember the conundrum of, should I buy Halo 3 or fucking Exodus from the Earth?
Yeah, they say Crispy's taken over all companies producing tan lotion. I don't know why he did it.
Of course I'm exaggerating, I'm kidding around. The game is a hidden gem that I'm pretty sure me and only like 10 other people in the world have played. It came out originally in Russia in 2007, but didn't come to the States till 2008. The plot is centered around the Earth being in trouble in the year 2016, that fucking far future dystopian year. In 2016, the sun becomes a red giant, which is burning all the life on the planet to a crisp. And the solution is to find a habitable planet. So in a panic, they spec all of their points into space exploration to try and quickly find a habitable Earth-like planet. And meanwhile, the Axe Corporation develops a vaccine they claim will allow humans to live in hostile environments. The purpose being, you can take this vaccine and then live in a previously uninhabitable planet that they've discovered. But suspicion starts to arise because its sinister leader, Jack Crisby, and Axe Corporation itself are suspected of being
Moise
behind the
baznak olyan
disappearance of
szarjátékokat
an
talál, és ezeket
astronaut who had
élvezi.
just
Mármint
returned from space with news
én sem
of
tudtam
a
egy csomó
second
szarjátékkal, de hogy ő...
I know, and we're only halfway through the plot right now. Your toes are probably curling in euphoria.
Volt,
with how
emlékszem arra a
great
videóra,
the
amikor
game is.
volt valami
So,
olyan szarjáték streamem, ami $200, amiben így ilyen 5 percnyi játék volt, és így még az is szar volt.
Rickson, typical tough guy with a stock of one-liners and an almost fetishistic love of firearms. I didn't write that line. This is in the official summary of the game because I wanted to see what they had to say about good old fucking Frank here. And so you play as Frank Rickson. He's investigating, and it turns into an absolute goddamn bloodbath. People getting slaughtered all over the place as you're trying to investigate and take down Jack Crisby and the gang. Honestly, this is work that rivals Tolkien's narratives. I mean, now that you're all brought up to speed on this riveting plot, I'd like to explain how I even found this game. It was during a Steam summer sale like 6 or 7 years ago now. It was like 5 cents, and I thought it looked interesting enough for a few pennies, so I bought it, and I made 2 YouTube videos on it, and I actually enjoyed it and had fun with it. So I thought this would be a good target for the next $10,000 speedrun challenge following the completion of my last one, Amok Runner, which I already made this Summoning Salt style video for last month. Now, this game was very different from Amok Runner in the fact that there's more to do, there's more mechanics, as opposed to Amok Runner where the only thing you can do is slowly walk forward while your character monologues about how unprofessional he's being. This game is actually just kind of fun. It's very Half-Life-esque is how I always think of it and how I describe it. And the speedrun is beyond exciting. And another great thing about this one for the challenge was there was already a template to follow. Because on day 0, there was already a speedrun record that had taken place in 2018. There was only one person that ever ran this game before this challenge. His name is Deluxy. Deluxy in 2018
Volt egy ember a világon, aki speedrunolta, és speedrunolta a játékot, és egyedül még optimalizálta is ezt a speedrun.
On February 7th of 2018.
Hagyján, hogy csak egyedül ő csinálta csak.
And it's actually pretty impressive. It's not just playing the game normally fast. Deluxy had already found some pretty big skips, and some skips that got used all the way up until the end of the challenge, especially in the early levels. Like there was just an incredible amount of polish to the speed run that Deluxy was cooking up. The second record that Deluxy posted was on April 9th of 2018 with a 1 hour.
Persze, de itt csak az, hogy egyedül játszott, és ezeket a dolgokat valószínűleg akkor egyedül kellett optimalizálnia, vagy kiderítenie bármilyen skipet, amit csinál. Mert általában ugye úgy van az optimalizálás, hogy van mondjuk egy útvonal, és akkor azon, hogy megpróbálsz gyorsabban végigmenni, de valószínűleg ugye nyilván ő ezeket így próbálgatta magától.
As well as an early car out of bounds. Finding out of bounds this early while being the only runner is extremely impressive because he wasn't competing with anyone. He was just doing this for the fucking love of the sport.
An
absolute madman.
Azért csinálta, mert hogy így, nem tudom, csak így játszott így a játékkal, és ezt élvezte.
So finding it out of bounds already with the car is fantastic, since the car is by far the biggest headache in the entire run. He then also found a gate skip, a satellite skip, and a lot of other very small optimizations like quick save spamming, cutscene skips, save loading. Like, there was a lot that he used that was used all the way up till the end. So, throughout 2018, he competed with just himself, setting his own records. So, the third record that he set was on April 29th of 2018, getting a 1 hour, 18 minute, 8 second run. Then that same day, getting a 1 hour, 13 minute, 33 second run. And then the following month, in May 15th, 2018, he posts his last and final Exodus from the Earth speedrun record with a 1 hour, 10 minute, 13 second run. Overall, it was an extremely impressive run considering it was just him running it. So he was doing all of this on his own. And he kept theory crafting big skips, including the biggest skip the game would ever see, the Chapter 13 skip. This was a skip that would happen at the very beginning of this run that would skip from the fucking very start, like the primordial ooze of Exodus from the Earth, all the way to chapter 13 using an out-of-bounds clip. He theorized it, but couldn't quite crack the code on how to make it all work. But he laid that groundwork where people did eventually find that. And I'll get into it in a moment. I want to follow the timeline one to one. Point is, Deluxy was an absolute pioneer with this game. So, having that as the template for day 0, I posted the $10,000 challenge, and people got to work. This is a much larger game than Amok Runner. Playing this game normally is going to take quite a few hours, and there is a lot going on. It's very action heavy, a lot of shooting. The driving is unforgiving because it feels like you're driving an absolute fucking disheveled, drunken zombie of a car. It doesn't do what you want it to do. Its momentum carries in weird ways. It gets pushed around by light breezes. It's fucking miserable. So there's a lot of learning that needed to go into this game. And that's really what day 1 was about. Most players spent day 1 just playing the game normally as best they can, getting familiar with the shooting mechanics and all of that.
Ez a 2 hetes challenge, nem?
Was already established. But we did, however, see a new record on day 1 itself from a familiar face that you're going to recognize from the Amok challenge. Spicy TV. Spicy TV, within 24 hours after the announcement, actually did get a new world record with a 56-minute and 8-second run. There wasn't any huge changes to the route. Spicy TV just did the established route better, but with some new tricks thrown in, sprinkled here and there for flavor, but nothing massive. I'll go over a couple of the day 1 tricks that were found. The first and by far most entertaining trick is crouch spamming. People discovered that if you just spam crouch, none of the enemies can actually do damage to you. You're pretty much immortal when you're spamming crouch and getting shot by enemies. Everything misses. It's extremely goofy, and I love it. I think it's amazing. So that saved a lot of time because you could just start avoiding enemies or surviving things that ordinarily you wouldn't survive, because even on like the best of days, the game is pretty unforgiving with the amount of damage it'll do to you out of nowhere. Like, you'll step on like a single twig and break your whole leg, die instantly. Like, you will just die like instantaneously, like spontaneously combust out of nowhere in this game. So being able to crouch spam to avoid a couple bullets that might have just instantly killed you for some reason was a lifesaver and an absolute game changer.
Egészen arról szól, hogy fighting van, hogy spammeld a crouchot.
Discovered on day 1 was Tig Skip, named after the person that found it, Tig. They found if you pressed Control plus I, you'd teleport forward. It was a developer command that was left in the game, but it only worked on one specific level. So you couldn't just spam it for everything, but it was helpful in the spot that it worked. They also found a raft and conveyor skip. It was found by Zumo di Papaya. They found that in the same car cutscene skip, if you exit and enter the vehicle as you enter the water, and then drive to the left of the mountain and maneuver back in bounds, you can skip the long auto-scroller. So this level fucking sucks. There is an auto-scrolling segment here, and being able to skip it would be a huge time saver. A massive one, and just it cut out a lot of boring shit. And luckily it was found pretty much instantly. So if you enter and exit the vehicle right as it touches the water here, you can then drive to the left of the mountain out of bounds and then get back in bounds to skip all of that dog shit. And now we move on to day 2, which by far had the most craziness happen. So I mentioned that chapter 13 skip that Deluxy had theorized, right? Well, the community was hard at work on trying to make that dream a reality. They worked tirelessly on trying to crack that.
This is the C13 sequence break in Exodus from the Earth.
So what is going on? Today I'll be teaching you chapter 13 skip.
This is going to be the new chapter 13 skip or 13.5.
Because if you could do that chapter 13 skip, you would cut about 20 minutes out of this run. So this one trick would nearly cut this run in half on its own. So the community was working together. It was a collaborative effort, but was ultimately put all together into this nice cauldron of beautiful, tasty stew by OnTrigger. OnTrigger put all of the methods together and figured out the way of making it work. So to break it down, the first method was to make a save on the elevator and then use a chair to clip upwards into the ceiling and fall down, which would skip right to chapter 13. This was a combination of Albert Hammock discovering item prop climbing up the hand in the center of the room. This is the first major trick used in the run. You go grab a chair, you turn it a certain way, and then you use it to surf up this hand in the middle of the room to get to the second story. And then Vexidros found a momentum carry through saves, where moving objects carry weird momentum for your character. So what you would do is you would then get into this elevator and basically store a lot of momentum from moving the objects in there. And it would then use that to clip into the ceiling and fall down to skip to chapter 13. This was in its infancy, so these were the early days of chapter 13 skip, so a lot of people didn't understand exactly how it worked, so it led to a lot of people struggling with it when clipping out of bounds and all that. So it was kind of deemed too RNG right now to be run viable, but it was there, it was discovered, and later that same day, a lot of records started to happen. People started to gamble on chapter 13 skip because there wasn't a reason not to. This isn't a trick that comes in towards the end of the run where the pressure's on and if you fuck it up you have to reset the whole thing and go all the way back. This is something that takes place at the actual very beginning of the game. So it's only like a minute into the run, so a lot of people just decided, even though we don't fully understand it or have the most consistent setup, it's worth at least trying it. And it only got more consistent as the runs went on. But day 2 saw a lot of shaking and baking. So we had our first world record using the chapter 13 skip. It came from Joe Gnome with a 53-minute, 59-second run. It's not the most optimized run in the world, but god damn it, it's the first one that clocked it with the chapter 13 skip. And then we had an absolute flurry of world records being traded. These were all within 5 minutes of each other. There were 3 records. First came from Joe Gnome again with a 50-minute, 8-second run.
Alright, we know the strat. Well, we know a strat. We don't know the strat. 50:08.
And then we have a returning raid boss, the previous world champion of the $10,000 speedrun bounties,
VG.
Ouija was the winner of last month's AMOC Runner $10,000 challenge, and he came back to defend the title. So Ouija made his presence known by clocking in a 48-minute, 41-second run.
Where do I go? Wow, what a great run.
Which was then absolutely fucking demolished by Spicy TV, who came around and fucking slapped the meat down, laying in a 38-minute, 6-second run.
Not bad for a first run with the fucking chair skip shit.
This run was actually spectacular. This early into the competition, the record had already been chopped almost in half, from an hour to 38 minutes. So Spicy definitely had the most optimized run at the time, implemented all the tricks pretty much flawlessly, and just had the most mechanical expertise with it so far. So day 2, he was really kind of popping off. He then, an hour later, got another world record, dropping it even further, with a 35-minute, 35-second run.
I lost time even though I didn't down robots because of that. GG's though. 2 in a row. Not bad. This one was definitely a lot better than the last one. Like, the skips were pretty decent in this one.
But now, we need to clear the stage for yet another galactic demon-level threat of speedrunning. Unity B. Unity is a top-tier source speedrunner. He is very well known in the scene. This man was basically fucking created in a test tube in a lab, combined all of the genes of the best speedrunners of all time and put into one person, rolled up into a fucking monstrous package. Unity B came in after practicing the run for, I don't even remember how long, but he wasn't at it for very long, came in and got a 33-hour, 12-second world record. He also started incorporating bunny hopping into the speedrun. Bunny hopping is a term I'm sure you're very familiar with. It's optimized movement. When you do bunny hopping correctly, you move faster than any other ways of traversing. So the way you bunny hop in Exodus from the Earth is you strafe left to right. It's no different than most other bunny hopping. It just looks a little wonky in Exodus from the Earth, but it's fundamentally the same thing. You're strafing left, right, you know, holding DA, holding A, all that. If you know bunny hopping in other Source games, you know it in Exodus. It just looks very silly in this one, in my opinion, but I think that adds to the charm. We're only 48 hours into this son of a bitch, and it's already getting scarily optimized. You have people bunny hopping, spamming crouch to avoid damage, grabbing props to jump over triggers and skips, going through entire fucking chapters, skips, doing crazy shit. It is a beautiful sight to behold. And day 3, they decided to tackle another issue entirely.
Shut the fuck up!
The performance. The game has performance problems, in specific a memory leak issue, and that was a big pain point for a lot of people because sometimes the game would just straight up crash. And people within the community actually developed a speedrun patch to fix it. So it would stop it from crashing due to a memory overload in the later half of the game. What would happen
Csak a speedrun challenge miatt csináltak egy speedrun patchet a játékhoz.
Kill enemies and it would overload the memory of the game and cause it to just completely shit itself, which is disastrous for a speedrun, especially a $10,000 competition speedrun. So the community worked together to actually patch this and fix it. There's a lot of credit to give for this one. The main contributors, as I understand it, are Zach777, another returning face from the AMOC challenge from last month, one of the top runners there. Egg and Banana Stand, they all narrowed down on the issue. And then Sky Rimfist created the patch, and Magma Slime 569, Sizable Shrimp, and Man in Black tested it. And there were also other contributors as well, such as like Artemis. There was just a lot of people that came together to fix this in order to make this better, the experience better, so that way people weren't having these fucking crashes and ruining the run. So, the patch comes out day 3. We of course allow for the patch because obviously I don't want this to be just some like RNG crash fest, like that sucks. I understand that it's not as the game shipped, but you know what, fuck it, you know, it's our competition, we can get a little wacky and goofy, a little loosey-goosey with the rules. Yes, it is a third-party thing because it's a patch, but it just fixes the base game itself because it's shipped in such a poor state. So, we allow the patch for the runners to play on it, the community rejoices and everyone gets back to running. So, now, let's talk about the next couple of days. Days 3 through 5. Unity gets yet another world record with a 31-minute, 1-second run.
Dude, what is this? Actual kickflip, fucking Burnout Paradise barrel roll. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Dude. So close to 30.
This uses a lot of new skips now. So we've introduced something called Dam Skip, which was found by Zach.
Based on what we've learned from that. So it gets pretty close to the roof. If we could like pinch through here, we would end up in this room. This room is basically the end, right? We would then just go through here, call the elevator, or let this guy do it, take the elevator down, and that's basically the entire level.
So the idea was you would clip through this
Tessék,
ceiling
amúgy itt
on top
például
of this
ezen
car, which would skip the entire dam section. This run also
egy csomó olyan
included
dologról szó van, hogy
found by
fedeznek fel
Wakanda.
skipeket.
First thing you need to do is you need to drive across this trigger, so if you were to reload, then you would respawn on the island. Admittedly, I don't know exactly where this trigger is still, but it seems to be somewhere around here. After that, we're not going to respawn on the island. We're instead going to basically drive around the entire island. But this method drives essentially right to the end, and then you utilize the fact that you respawn right in the crane to do the crane task, and then your quick save puts you right back in the end.
This combined the crane skip and the conveyor and raft skip. The crane skip, I'll briefly explain, was you would launch your car right at this crane and try and basically fucking front flip over it or even off to the side, and you would skip a good portion of this run. Just more of a headache. It's just another optimized time save. The crane skip was also extremely frustrating for a lot of people, but necessary. The wet skip combines both that and the conveyor and raft skip, so what you would do is you would drive out of bounds, you would hit some of the triggers, and then you would reset the car's position to teleport inbounds. Then you would do the crane skip and load the previous save when you hit the trigger to then reset the car. And because of the way the trigger checkpoints work, resetting the car position with the crane checkpoint warps you forward, skipping a lot of the driving. So the wet skip was just another huge time save, and just this amalgamation of a couple of other skips that came before it and combined it into something even better. Another new skip was being used called Brownie Skip, which was found by Controlled Alt Delicious. This is one that was theorized all the way back in the beginning of time by Deluxey, the Prophet. And basically it's some tricky platforming to get out of bounds, and then you jump down to the next section and live by dropping your frame rate by switching it to a lower value or mashing quick save, or you can just get lucky and jump at the frame perfect time. This was just another nice optimized time skip by abusing the quick save mechanic. So if you're mashing quick save, you can pretty much live most things when it comes to like dropping down and shit. There's just a lot of goofiness to the tech here. So these were 3 new skips that were being experimented with, implemented into runs, and it got the time down even further. Spicy got a 30-minute, 43-second run, and this I honestly think was a work of beauty. I watched the majority of this one live.
How hard is the run? It's like a solid 7, maybe. It's not the hardest run in the world, but it's pretty technical. That was so fucking slow. Whatever. Hit still record. That was so bad though. Fuck, man. I don't even know what I could have done for that. Even if that was fine, that still wasn't sub 30, but.
Later on, Unity got a 29-minute, 7-second run, our first sub 30.
Kind of hope it doesn't, because this is like the perfect mix of, like, you actually have to know how to do it and also not just full 1 billion% randomness. Fuck off! Let's fucking go! That was so close to sub 29, what the fuck? I didn't think I could go that much lower.
Cracking the sub 30 milestone, something that in the beginning, I'll be honest, I wasn't even sure was possible. This was an hour-long run, and I was wondering if it was already so optimized we might not see any huge improvements. Maybe it'd get down to like 40 minutes, but we're already deep in the sub 30s, baby. We're fucking exploring parts unknown. So Unity gets the first sub 30, 29 minutes 7 seconds. Unity then comes back and beats his own record with a 28-minute 29-second run, and then we get another titan into the fray, another behemoth into the scene, Muty. Muty is another very well-established speedrunner who entered this competition and made his presence felt in a big way.
Így mondja?
Pressure was
Nem így mondja.
crumpling people. But unfortunately, his big run at this time was 0.1 second slower than Unity's world record. Muty got a 28-minute, 29-second run, but I thought it was worth mentioning here because this is the first time Muty got himself in contention for the #1 spot, but it would be far from the last.
GG.
Not bad. Not a bad run. Clever.
Nice!
2 seconds behind.
Hát én ebben semmikor.
Now, let's go ahead and start talking about day 6.
Nyomta?
Day 6.
Na, majd akkor a kövibe én is megyek.
The Chunka Warp lets you skip an entire stair section, and it's done by hitting the
olyankor lesz.
and then getting to the end of the mission by resetting your position to the start of the game by loading a save that's there. You're going to notice a lot of these tricks use a lot of quick saving and even save load tricks because there is so much jank to this game that you can really get some crazy results with these save loads. So, after loading that save that's there, the old version had
neki aztán Quake miatt olyan movementje van.
Shot into the trigger, and then loading the last possible quick save that you make, which is a black screen, and if you do all of this correctly, you can just walk to the end of the mission. Muty gets a world record at 27 minutes 56 seconds and uses this version of the Chunka Warp.
I am idiot. Fuck. Could have been quicker. Whatever. We'll get better at this. Ooh. No, we didn't. Okay. Fine. 27.
Fresh meat.
Not bad. Not bad.
Kemény szám.
That fucking time loss. The grenade.
However, this was improved later. The final version of the trick, the Prime version, used the upclip method, which is of course momentum carrying that we talked about earlier. So you would upclip and then you jump below the cutscene trigger to die from fall damage, and then you'd skip the cutscene by mashing quick save as you die, load the black screen to quick save and continue, and you basically get the same effect, but it's more consistent and it's a lot easier. So all versions from Unity's 26-minute 57-second record does this.
Go finish this run now for splits. I should. I mean, if this run, like, if I lose... Like,
itt a srácok azok már... Itt ezek, nyilván akikről szó van, ők elég és sok éves tapasztalattal rendelkező speedrunner.
I just naded himself! That guy's helping me out! Sub 27, let's fucking go. That could have been so much better, man. That could have been nearly sub 26.
These warps became integral to the run. You're going to notice quite
Ja,
a
azért
few
mondom,
of
tehát,
them,
hogy-
and they do get a little confusing. I don't know if my explanation has done it justice, but hopefully by watching it, as well as my little fucking reptile smooth brain understanding of it, hopefully that's enough to get across how it works. So now we're coming up on a week since the competition started. Really, days 7 through 10 saw even more glitches and tricks being discovered to continue pushing this into just absolutely outrageous territory. So, we have something called the Suballine's Wormhole.
So my goal is to make sure that the moment I enter the vehicle, it will load me. Like that. Okay, so if you see it load instantly, it worked. Now I think if I hit reset right now, make sure it grabs a checkpoint here.
Suballine's Wormhole. Hopefully I didn't fuck your name up. So this wormhole works by entering the car and loading into the next section of the game at the same time. You can cause a wormhole glitch with the car's reset function. The reset function is something I've mentioned already, but I'll briefly explain a little bit more. The game has a built-in reset. So, you can cause a wormhole glitch by abusing that mechanic. The game will keep teleporting you ahead when you reach a certain point by loading a save with the car in the resetting position state. To do this right, you have to enter the next area, reset your car's position, and then make a save. Then you drive to a certain point, load the save, and you'll teleport forward. Repeat this all the way to the dam, and you save almost a minute of driving time. And at this point, a minute means the world. Mickey R clocked a 26-minute, 41-second run and was the first person to use the wormhole. And all the future runs will also be using it, but Mickey was the first one to put it all together and get a great fucking run out of it.
What? Oh my god. Dude, no fucking way. Oh my god.
Another trick that started being implemented was called Dirt Skip. Basically, Dirt Skip is letting you save a keycard that would normally be used, and it saves roughly 20 seconds, which again, at this point, is huge. This is a game of inches now. These seconds mean everything. So you pull this off by dropping onto this dirt block, making a save, and then making a save next to another block of dirt at the correct time. You then load the previous save and quick load and press quick save twice quickly. And if you do it correctly, you'll warp into the end area, and sometimes you can even jump inside as well if you didn't get teleported directly in. And we're only getting started with the glitches and tricks here. I hope you brought an appetite, because if you like glitches and tricks, you're eating fucking good with Exodus from the Earth here. I wasn't exaggerating. Nearly every millisecond of this run has a trick or is setting up for a trick. So the next one is the reactor up clip, and it actually uses and builds upon the same mechanics as the Chapter 13 skip, with the chair and using the elevator and making a quick save. So, you use the chair, use the elevator, make a quick save, keep your momentum, and then you can use a trash can to boost yourself into the ceiling into the next section of the game. So now let's talk about some of the world records that were obtained using some of these already. We had Unity getting a 25-minute 49-second run. We had Unity getting a 25-minute 18-second run.
Fuck.
We had Unity getting a 24-minute 40-second run.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's fucking go, dude. Oh! I'm coming. That's massive. G fucking G.
I think you're starting to notice a pattern. Unity's out there playing patty cake with his own world records right now. And these runs are beautiful. I mean, just look at how these are going.
That's so true. Noah. We'll see, Claire. I wouldn't say it too early. Making with the best smite than lost, by the way. Fuck.
But it wasn't just Unity. There were still so many other talented runners that weren't far behind, and in fact, even leaped ahead. We had Zach. Yes, Zach. With a 24-minute, 38-second speedrun, squeaking out a stinker to get the world record here from Unity. And then we also had some new implementations with prop surfing. So towards the end of the game, you can use a box to help you drop through a depth barrier instead of warping around the stairs, and it saves quite a bit of time. It's like 20 seconds. But it's not easy, and the box can easily break, so it's kind of a risky thing to do. But the time save is always worth the risk, especially when it's this cutthroat towards the top of the leaderboard with this competition. Unity, later on that day, was the first one to use that, the prop surfing, in a run, and he got a world record with it, with a 23-minute, 51-second run.
He's coming, by the way. Isn't this sub 24? Let me go! Do I do the optimization? I'm gonna do the nade boost. No! Fuck! Oh, I got an auto split. GG. Oh my god.
And then continued to go on an absolute fucking rampage here. He then got a 23-minute, 39-second run.
That's so disappointing, man.
A 23-minute, 14-second run.
I forgot to do the fucking optimization.
A 23-minute, 10-second run, and then finished off that day with a 22-minute, 57-second run.
Oh my god, dude. That was so close. Let's fucking go, dude. Jesus Christ.
So now we're 11 days into the competition, and we're still not done finding and using huge tricks. So, Mars skip was found, and this one is such an absolute clusterfuck of a trick. This combines like everything all together. Everything ever learned throughout the entire history of the human race gets combined into this fucking skip, basically. I guess not the skip so much, but really the whole level of Mars is such a wild experience to watch. Because there's so much going on all the time. Even outside of what I'm about to talk about with the box launches, there's just some really precise jumps that need to be done, as well as like enemies that they fight through that can just instantly kill you sometimes for no fucking reason. But like there's a jump you have to make off of a plant sphincter, like there's this little anus plant that you have to do a pretty tight jump on that actually becomes a run killer for quite a few great runs. Like there's just nothing easy about it, it is just unforgiving. But let's talk about the Mars skip using the boxes. So this uses very similar tech to the elevator skips. It's carrying over momentum and uses that to launch you. And you can launch extremely far by using the boxes on Mars. So what you do is you use grenades to prevent the boxes from opening, and then you detonate them at the right time to give you a huge launch, kind of like the elevator skips. So you can use either remote grenades or pressing them as you load a save that you made on the box, or just blow them up by using your grenade launcher. It's just, there's quite a few ways of doing it, but they're all pretty fucking tough. Unity's the first one to use them in a good run. He gets a 22-minute, 53-second record with it, and once again is trailblazing this path. There's also another thing that gets discovered called propless. So this is kind of similar to something we talked about, but without a prop. So instead of using a box to skip that death barrier we talked about a moment ago, you jump on the wall and time your frame limiter correctly to take much less fall damage. And if you do it correctly, you can just drop to the bottom without carrying a box. And this is just kind of a different way of doing the same thing. Since the box could break and it'd be like this giant fuck you moment, this is just another option. It's just a little bit more difficult. So now let's dive back into the records we were experiencing. You're gonna notice yet again the patterns continuing. Unity gets another world record with a 22-minute, 31-second speed run. Unity comes back because he was mad at Unity and said, I want Unity to do better, so he did, with a 22-minute, 19 speed run. But now we're getting into some dicey territory. Since the competition's winding down, we're coming up on day 13. Muty actually sneaks in a world record of his own, taking it from Unity. Muty comes in with a 21-minute, 58-second speed run.
Please don't fucking blow it up. No, we... Okay, thank God. Okay.
It's only -4, chill.
Fresh meat.
Ez úgy split, ugye I am also nearly szar.
Come on. Timer didn't stop. That was 21. That was fucking 21. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. There's a fucking 21, dude. Finally, I get to fucking break a minute barrier too. Oh my god.
Getting close to the buzzer here. We're in the fucking fourth quarter, the final stretch, and Muty just took the world record. So Unity may have started sweating a little bit, but not that much because he came back and still got another world record with 21 minutes, 27 seconds.
This game's similar to Crisis. Yeah, you could say that. It's a real gem from its era. I was fucking scared that I literally wouldn't make it in time for the elevator then.
And then we started seeing yet another new piece of tech being used called Corp Launch. You can launch your corpse into the next cutscene and load your last checkpoint, which has a car sitting in it to reset the state similar to a wormhole, which teleports you forward and skips a walking section, which saves around 20 seconds. Yet another 20-second time save is still being discovered and used towards the end of these runs, and it does make all the difference in the world. To do the corpse launch, you need an assault rifle, so it's a little slower than the 20 seconds, but even still, it's another time save that starts getting used. Unity comes back again. He gets a 21-minute, 12-second run.
That's not a gold, but GG. Fuck. Oh, I want the fucking sub 21, man.
And then we get our final world record. Our very first sub 21. Unity gets an absolutely historic 20-minute, 58-second run that combines everything ever. Everything the community had learned over the course of 14 excruciating days of discovery and trials and tribulations. Unity combines into a masterpiece of a run.
Nem be tudott volna menni 20 alá is meg. Hogyha. Nyilván annyira durva lett volna.
Yes, dude! Fuck! Ah! Oh! Fuck. Fuck.
So now, taking a look at the final three.
Annual.
The final three that will be getting $10,000 split at the final
131 óra.
three that will be getting $10,000 split amongst them. 6,000 to first place, 2.5k to second, and 1.5k to third. Unity with his 20-minute, 58-second run. Muty coming in second with a
Második
20-minute,
lett. Nice.
15-second run. And I think it's worth mentioning He had an absolutely banger run right towards the end of this challenge that I was watching live, where he almost had a chance of taking world record at the end. So this really did come down to the wire, but Muty gets second place, not far behind with that 21-minute, 15-second run.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
third place, we have our first repeat top 3 performer with Zach777 getting a 21-minute, 34-second run. Zach got second in Amok, now third in Exodus from the Earth. Who knows? Maybe he's destined for first in the next one. But Zach, very consistent, great runner, gets third place. And I did mention that this time around I was doing an additional $1,000 to whoever found the most meta-defining trick. The trick that saves the most time and is the most important to the run, which the community, of course, has a strong say in. And the winner of that $1,000 goes to On Trigger for putting everything together to create and optimize Chapter 13 Skip to make all of that work. So On Trigger is the recipient of the $1,000 bonus there. And another thing I'd like to mention is there's another runner I haven't talked about, but was a huge runner in this category, Kisimov. Hope I'm not fucking up their name. I don't know if it's Kisimov. I hope I'm not butchering it. But Kisimov had an incredible run, just like Muty did, right at the end of the competition. On day 14, with only, I think, like 20 minutes left, Kisimov was on an absolutely outrageous pace. But unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. Kisimov finished the competition in 4th, just barely. But right after the competition ended, Kisimov got first place and is right now the current world record holder for Exodus from the Earth. But that was in overtime. That was post game. That was the end credits epilogue scene right there. So wasn't enough to get the prize placing, but I do want to shout them out because they're an extraordinary runner who is now the world record holder for this game. Overall, this competition was amazing. This was one of the most fun speedruns I got to watch. All of the tech, all of the discoveries being rapidly found in the Discord server every single day, everyone working together to optimize and improve and push it to its absolute limits. I couldn't be more satisfied with how this worked, and I'm extremely excited for the next $10,000.
Nem lehet tudni, mikor lesz az Elder Scrolls-os roaming videó.
Next game's going to be, but I will announce it shortly once this video goes up. I really appreciate all the runners for putting so much time into this, and it was a lot of fun to watch. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope to see a lot of more return runners for the next one that we do.
Hát én sem emlékeztem,
That's about it. So yeah.
Na jó van, viszont akkor keresetnetek egy raidet, kösz, hogy itt voltatok, aztán majd jövök vissza. Nem tudom, hogy holnap vagy mikor, vagy de ja, mindenképp. Aki még itt vannak, jó éjszakát, puszika. Ja, sziasztok!